Welcome to Bad Teacher Tales, real talk, stories, and advice for teachers and those who love them. Each episode, Scara and Sly bring you the good, the bad, and the what the hell of daily teacher life. If we make you laugh, gasp, or question your career choices, hit like, share, and subscribe. Have a story to share? Link is in the notes. Drop it like a late assignment. All educational contributors are welcome, even our heroic custodians. You see everything and know the real dirt, so don't be shy. Send it in. These opinions aren't necessarily those of the hosts or Bad Teacher Tales. Some content may not be suitable for children. I know. Listener discretion advised.
Welcome to Bad Teacher Tales. As you listen to this episode, keep in mind that this is a self-produced and edited podcast with no prior knowledge of how podcasts work. I have learned and grown since these earlier episodes. I promise the quality gets better as you move through Season 1 and into Season 2. As an educator, I value the learning process and work to give my students grace as they make mistakes along the way. Please allow us these same considerations while listening to these earlier episodes. Thank you. And with that, we're going to welcome back Sly, who didn't know I was recording, but I'm so keeping that in.
That's the story of my life.
I love it.
There it is.
And this is why I love you. All right, welcome back, everybody. Sly is with us here again today.
Okay.
And with her little doo-doo-doos, I'm going to start us off with something that happened this week. Which, while we laugh, I'm glad we started with a laugh because this was actually something that reminded me that I am traumatized by something. So I'm leaving school at, I don't know, it was not on time. Maybe like 5, 6, something like that. I can't remember why I was there late. And there's a dad at the door with his kid trying to get in, and there's like nobody around, and I'm like, I'm not letting you in. And I mouthed to him before I even got there and like, kind of shake my head and give him like the nonverbal, like, I can't let you in. And he's like, why? And, started talking. I couldn't hear what he said because I was still far away and he was on the other side of the door. And I get up there and I said, I'm sorry, I can't let you in before I even open the door. Yeah. And he's like, well, I'm just here for something like this. I'm sorry, I can't let you in. And I know I was a little bit rude. And I like squeezed through the door and closed it behind me. And then he's like, I just am trying to figure out where this meeting is for volleyball or something. I'm like, I'm sorry, or whatever it was, cross country. And I'm like, well, it might be at the gym, and the gym's down there. And I pointed to it, and I apologized to him for sounding rude because I realized that I was traumatized once years ago when I had a parent actually push me out of the way, like physically push me in order to get in the building because I wouldn't let them in.
That's insane. That is just insane. Like, sometimes parents, like, they want all the safety procedures in place to keep their kids safe until it's after school, and then they seem to think that nothing will happen out of school hours.
Yeah.
That it's just
like the safety procedures suddenly shouldn't be in place.
Not for them because the rules don't apply to them.
Yeah.
So,
well, this parent really wasn't trying to push in, the one this week, but it made me realize that I'd started panicking way before I even got to the door to not let him in, like just assuming I'm going to be, physically assaulted in order to, gain access. I'm glad I know what the problem is. And now I got something to work on.
But the problem's not really with you.
I mean, it's not, but I shouldn't panic every time a parent comes to the door because that hasn't happened again.
But you had the experience once, and
it was so long ago. I know, and I really should. Yes, but I'm at a different school now. It's a different community. I haven't experienced the same level of parent.
Well, I mean, but like when you think back on the stories that we've told on this channel and the things that some of these teachers have gone through, like that one teacher that had the student out, trying to stab her.
Right.
She's going to be traumatized every time she goes to break up a fight. And every time that she goes back into that
she's
situation.
Not going to break up a fight.
Exactly.
And that leads me to a whole different conversation with this. Like, we are not allowed to break up fights. Mm-hmm. If we get hurt in the process of breaking up a fight, then we have to pay for our own medical bills. Like, the district doesn't support us for leave. Like, it's all sorts of issues. And I know I see every time a video in a school of a fight happening and there's a teacher in the background of the video, parents are just reaming that teacher.
Yeah.
And going on and on about why isn't that teacher stepping in? Why isn't that? Well, we can't.
But then if we do step in, you put your hands on my kid.
Well,
We are literally damned if we do and damned if we don't. And it's a really sucky situation to be in.
Exactly.
Welcome to Bad Teacher Tales, where each week we share the good, the bad, and the what the hell of daily teacher life. We'll expose workplace woes that range from unrealistic to impossibly asinine. We'll postulate on parental problems and admin antics. We might even learn a helpful tip or trick. And while we may be bad teachers, we will always leave remembering our why. Those beautiful, bright, baffling students. The opinions read in this episode do not necessarily reflect those of the hosts or Bad Teacher Tales. Some language and situations may be unsuitable for children. Ironic, I know. Listener discretion is advised.
Hi, I'm Skara, and I am a middle school theater teacher as well as fine arts department head and the cheer team and pep squad coach. I am a national board candidate and TAP, which is a new teacher mentor.
Hi, I'm Sly, and I am none of those things. I am a middle school choir director. Period.
An amazing one at that. So I have something a little bit different for you today.
Oh, fun. I like different. I am different.
This is a story. It's a very short story, but it is followed by a series of text messages that I'm going to read.
I don't know if this is good or if I'm going to like where this is going.
You're not.
Oh,
Isn't that how this goes?
Okay, I'm kind of figuring out the pattern now. It takes me a little longer than most, but here we are.
This is an 8th grade ELA teacher from Texas, and I think you'll see why she was a little bit more vague on where in Texas.
Great. Let's go.
I started teaching at a small district in 2011 when I was around 26. Most of my middle school students were 13 to 15 years old. I enjoyed every minute of teaching them. Fast forward to 2017.
So 6 years later.
6 years later. So they're all adults. Barely, but
they're adults.
Technically. I found out that a previous student's dad had passed away, and I expressed my condolences on Messenger.
Okay.
My information got out, and some kids reached out to me for some resume help, essay help, job recommendations, etc.
Okay.
And now, in 2023, out of the blue, I get a series of text messages. I'll attach them to be read.
Oh, no.
All in all, I'm thinking, is this some joke? I can't believe this student ever thought it would be appropriate. I ended up blocking the kid and never responding. I have no words.
Oh, this is going to be fun.
Are you ready?
Oh, no.
So this starts out...
Ooh, can we act it out? Your turn, my turn. That way, like, we have different voices. It'll be easier to follow.
So do you want to be the teacher or the kid?
Up to you. It's...
I'm going to be the teacher.
Oh, great. I get to be the kid.
You get to be the kid. So the kid is over here on this side.
Ooh, do I get to start?
You do, right here.
Ooh. So, responding, you're welcome and thank you. I always wonder how you're doing. I figure that's what you were doing, which is why I wished you a good day. We should get together sometime and catch up. Would you mind?
So make sure that our audience knows when there's a new text message. I think it's going to become important later.
Okay.
Of course, I always think of all of y'all when I'm near this city that we used to live in. I'll have to check and see when I'm over there next.
Sounds like a plan. I honestly can't wait to see you. Smiley face emoji. New message. Would you send me a picture of you?
Already.
With all the little hearts around the face. I know
New
message, my bad. I know it's random, but I've been wanting to see you with the hand over the mouth. This is bad. Next day at 6:30 a.m. Good morning! Exclamation point with a picture. Not an inappropriate picture, but a picture all the same.
Do you want to describe the picture?
Just sitting in a car. Oh, there's a heart emoji on it. There's a heart emoji.
There is.
Oh, okay. Next message. Could I get one in return? LOL with a smiley face. Oh boy. New message. You want to turn? All right, new message. I want you to know that I'm no longer that kid you once teached. Oh, good Lord. I'm grown now, and you have nothing to worry about. I hope we can be more than good friends without any issues.
I think he paid more attention to the teacher than the subject being taught.
Apparently. Oh, God, because she did teach ELA, didn't she? Good Lord. New message.
I think that means of course.
Sure. Of course, if you allow us to.
New message.
I stay to myself, and I don't talk to anyone from outside of small town. New message. I always thought you were the most beautiful teacher ever, with the heart eyes emoji. Oh, God. New message. At the same time, admiring your professionalism and respecting it to the fullest, which is why I never told you, but I can today.
Let's pause there. But
that was a lot.
Just want to let you know that I respect you.
I thought we were taking turns.
But also, hint, hint, I'm grown now.
I thought we were taking turns, Scara. This doesn't feel like
you
turns.
asked. I just decided I was going to be the teacher, and you were
cool.
All right, new message.
You get a turn. Oh God, I don't.
It's still your turn.
I don't want to do this. All right, so new message. We should video chat soon. Oh God.
Oh, the teacher finally responds because that was a lot.
Oh,
I imagine if it were me, I'd be spending all this in between time thinking, how the heck do I respond?
Can you imagine if she hadn't actually gotten any of those messages and came back to all of that at once?
Oh my gosh.
Oh, this boy can't take a hint.
She says, I'm flattered. I'm so glad you're doing well. I understand you are grown, but in my eyes, you will always be my student. Perfect response.
Oh my God, yes, that is
Thank you.
Most appropriate and only response you could possibly give to that. Back to the student. No doubt about that at all. New message. But it doesn't mean we can't be close friends. New message. I like the idea. I mean, we're both grown-ups. Ugh. New message. You're not old enough to not be, if you know what I'm trying to say. And we always got along well. New message. So no picture for me? With a sad face. Ugh. I know you're probably thinking I'm crazy, but I miss you. That's all. LOL. New message. You have a special place in my heart. Heart emoji. New message. What you up to? New message. Missed video call. New message. Just wanted to see you and say hi. New message. I hope I didn't interrupt. New message. Don't be so flattered, LOL. New message. You can be yourself with me.
New message.
You can be yourself with me, and trust me, I won't ever do anything to hurt you. New message. Talk to me. New message. Allow me to be someone you really care for or look forward to see more often. Smiley face emoji. New message. I can finally... Nope, that's bad English. Now I can finally able to tell you you're beautiful. Heart eyes. I'm correction.
New message.
New message. I could never forget you. Oh my gosh.
So at this point, she blocks him.
What? That's shocking.
Honestly, it took a little bit too long for my taste, and maybe she just didn't see them because
that's my assumption. Is
doing
that after
her job
she
or
sent
something.
her thing, she probably just turned it off and walked away and was like, "That's enough internet for today."
Yeah, probably.
That's enough. Yeah.
So what do we think?
I aspire to have that kind of professionalism in my responses to people.
Good call, because I don't think I would be that kind. I wouldn't have been that nice. I mean, if he's an adult and he can say those things, then I can say the things that I'm thinking right back.
I'm almost positive that I would have immediately... There would have been two sets of responses, as I'm sure there were with this teacher. There is the actual response, and there's the response you write. My actual response would have been like, yo, what the f... Because, ugh, gross.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But then you have her response, which was just so elegant and so well put that it doesn't cast her in a bad light at all. It doesn't give any weird feelings toward him, but also clearly he did not take the hint. I think, honestly, after that conversation, she said what she needed to say and she walked away.
I'd be more concerned about this child, now adult. But like she said, this child, once they're our student, always a student. And I would be more concerned that this kid person adult may find me.
Yeah.
I might run into them somewhere in this small town. Like, if she has family there or has to go back for any reason, I would be terrified, to be honest. I don't know if I'd be seeking a order of protection or whatever. Yeah. It just seems that's just creepy. The sheer number of messages in a row that didn't stop.
I think, honestly, we can't see the timestamp to see if they were, like, literally minute after minute after minute, or with, like, 5-10 minutes, like, kids waiting for her to reply. Not that it's
Doesn't matter.
appropriate regardless.
Well, it's like last episode where the teacher and I were talking about how some kids we think might be serial killers in the future, and this one concerns me in a similar fashion.
Yeah. It's just like, there are certain kids, like, I have students from my student teaching that I still follow up with on Facebook. It's interesting because, yes, I do still, and I will always see them in that light of they were my student. It's not that I won't ever see them as a full-fledged adult, but, like, what is permissible with other students is not, like, or with other people is not going to be permissible for them, which is a weird dichotomy.
It is.
Because, like, I went through this really fun thing where I was having a baby alongside a lot of my student teachers.
Oh.
Or my students from student teaching. Like, we just all ended up pregnant at the same time. Like, after high school, after I was done with student teaching. But, like, 4 of them were all pregnant. I was pregnant, so we kind of talked over that. Now, scrolling through mom posts and stuff, I don't mind coming across, like, breastfeeding pictures. Those don't bother me. But when it's one of my students doing that, I'm just like, nope, I can't, nope. That crosses barrier for me.
It just hits different.
It does. And so
I got invited to a birthday party of one of my students, and it was her 18th birthday, but they're Hispanic and they party a little differently. Yeah. And so they're doing Jell-O shots, and I mean, did I partake? Yes, I did. But it was odd. Like, her parents wanted me there. We've become kind of like a family, right? This particular set of students, there's 2 of them that I had in the same family. And so, it was still very weird to have a former student hand me a thing of alcohol and say cheers.
Especially if she wasn't 21.
She wasn't. But we were in her parents' house. Like, it was like one of those, it wasn't like,
Yeah, it's only really awkward
still
when it's
weird.
like a toddler's birthday party. There's Jell-O shots. Not that I've
but those are
ever
necessary.
been to one of those. But yeah, no, I think this student definitely has the potential to become a stalker if she's not careful.
Or even if it's not her stalker, like a stalker. I'm just kind of worried for the female race with this man. I have a Why We Do This for you today, Sly, and it's a little bit different as well.
Oh, boy.
This one is from a substitute teacher.
Oh, good Lord. Okay, let's do it.
Well, so why we do this? So
it's not going to be the ones where the students in my neighboring art class drove the teacher out of the room crying like they did this week, right?
Oh, poor substitute. I have a really special place in my heart for substitutes. I don't think I could do that job.
I have threatened my children, like, in the kindest way possible. Mm-hmm. I just basically, like, my guiding rule for substitutes is be respectful and don't cause problems. Because if you cause a problem for her, I will be your problem, and you do not want me as your problem.
Yep. My students know, like, my general policy is if the substitute has to write your name down, then you are getting a detention because you did enough that they felt they needed to figure out your name and write it down. So detention for you.
Yeah, I always tell them that, the consequences are going to be ever mounting the longer it goes on. Mm-hmm. Like, if you act up the first time for the sub, there's going to be some consequences to get you to understand I'm serious about this. If you continue to act up when I have a sub, those consequences are going to get bigger, bigger, and bigger until you actually figure this out. But there will also be rewards for good behavior.
Good. All right. So this substitute teacher is from Texas, and she is an elementary and middle school substitute.
God bless her.
She doesn't give us more information than that. And that's okay. We'll respect that. And she calls this story Problem Child. I'm a substitute teacher. However, I very frequently do long-term jobs, maternity leave, vacancy, etc. So I get to know the kids pretty well. I tend to have a soft spot for the kids, often boys, who are labeled as trouble or difficult. Most of the time, there is a reason these kids act out, and I hate seeing them labeled as, quote, bad kids. Oh, I am with her on this. These are my people. These are,
same.
Yeah. In an upper elementary job I had recently, I had such a child. I'll call him Carter. There's a lot of I'll call hims lately. That isn't his name, of course, but every Carter I've ever taught can't sit still, so it fits.
When I was subbing, I also taught a student named Carter who could not sit still.
That's funny. So
It's a thing.
Okay, apparently. So Carter doesn't do his work. Carter fights with the other kids, sometimes physically. Carter has been known to talk back to teachers. Carter never stays in his seat. He's barely passing. Everything I heard before getting him in class, including from his mom, was that I needed to be firm and heavy-handed with discipline to keep him in line. The first thing I noticed when taking over this class was that he was obviously trying to get me to like him. He'd try to make me laugh. He wasn't too cool to talk to the teacher. He wasn't embarrassed to be praised by me in front of the other kids. If I told him to sit back down, he'd apologize, use ma'am, and sometimes give me a funny little salute to try and get a smile. It wasn't mocking, more self-deprecating. He was allowed to excuse himself to the restroom if he got angry and needed to cool down. He didn't abuse this, but did use it sometimes. I started asking him, at times, if he needed a minute, and most of the time he would just say he needed to put his head down for a while. This usually worked pretty well. He did have a terrible problem sitting at his desk. Some days it would only be seconds that he'd sit before he got up to wander around the room. When he got angry, instead of fussing at him, I would talk to him about why he was angry, and that all emotion is okay and normal. We'd talk about how it's only his actions and responses that we need to work on, but that getting mad is okay. Often we had these conversations with no eye contact, because when he lost control, he couldn't look me in the eye afterwards. He also took responsibility for his actions, admitting without prompting that he knew what he did was wrong, but just couldn't help it. Some other staff saw this as an excuse, but I saw it as a cry for help. I'm not saying they were uncaring, because experience can definitely cloud your judgment. I could see this sweet soul underneath all that anger and frustration, and the only other teachers who saw what I did spent as much time with him as I did. The specials teachers and some of the sped teachers just didn't have enough time with him to see what he was inside. These things didn't fix his behavior, but I could see he was trying. I could see he wanted to do better. Unfortunately, I believe he's fighting an uphill battle until mom and dad are willing to try ADHD medication. I understand their reluctance. I have a child on it myself. It's a tough decision. Whew, me too. It took some getting used to for us as a family, and the easiest thing that eased my mind was when someone said, hey, if your kid has diabetes, would you withhold insulin? Yeah. No, if that's what her body needs to regulate as a normal human, then that's what her body needs. And that made it a lot easier.
The amount of things that go with ADHD, the amount of things that they're called comorbidities. You don't ever just have ADHD by itself. You have ADHD and this, and this, and this, and probably this, and maybe even this. You always have it with something else.
ADHD is like the big umbrella, and there's lots of things underneath the umbrella. I know my daughter, she has big umbrella ADHD. Little umbrellas are generalized anxiety and dyslexia. So some of those learning disabilities as well as behavioral. She goes on. On my last day as his teacher, he brought me a huge gift, which included an item that he only could have known I wanted by observing me on a daily basis. In other words, it was thoughtful and obvious that he picked that part out himself. His parents wouldn't have known to include it. One of the other teachers told me he was obviously sad all day, although he didn't let me see it. We ended the day with extra hugs, including a group hug that he pulled another boy into. When I work at that school now, one of the things I look forward to the most is seeing him and getting my big two-armed hug and his fantastic smile. I still worry about him and pray for him. I hope he gets what he needs as he gets older. But as long as I can, I'll continue to try to get everyone to see the sweet, struggling kid inside.
Those kids never really leave you.
Nope, they don't.
I still remember mine from my first year of teaching, that all the teachers just told me, well, he's He's a lost cause. He has autism, and he just does what he wants to do. He doesn't want to do this and that and whatever. And I was like, all right, well, I've got to find a way to get him to participate. Like, the teachers just all were really frustrated by him because he didn't want to do anything. I mean, like, the kid is smart. He got straight A's. So I'm like, I don't know why you guys are frustrated with him, first off. But he doesn't want to participate in class. He didn't want to do things. And I'm like, okay. Well, I was like, I need you to participate in the review because we're having an exam tomorrow. So you need to participate today. He's like, well, I don't want to be on a team. And I was like, well, you really lucked out that there's an odd number of kids at this point.
You can be on your own.
I was like, you know what? I was like, how about this? As long as you are paying attention to the questions and the answers, I'll let you be the scorekeeper.
Okay.
And I mean, like, that is such a small thing.
Oh, but I bet he took it seriously.
He did, but it changed our dynamic and our relationship to the point that he went home and told his parents about that, because I got a follow-up email the next day about how much it meant to them that I found a way to include their son in a way that he wanted to be a part of the class, something he was excited about. And she's like, he came home and told us what you did in class that day, what you covered, topics you covered, what you learned, and how he knew he was ready for the exam, and blah, 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 because you found a way to include him that was comfortable for him.
I love that.
And I was the only teacher that got a Christmas gift from him that year. Not his homeroom teacher, me, his music teacher, that he saw once a week.
I actually like purposefully including kids with autism in my advanced theater classes, because I can always find a place and a job for them and make them feel not just included, but valued. And part of a team and all that, and they can learn some different skills that they may not have learned otherwise. And I know that with my experience, I've had students with autism that have both been very outgoing and easy to make friends, but I've had a few that are really internalize everything, and I had one last year that doesn't talk, right? Or just almost never talks, barely. Like, the one day he talked to me like full sentences, I'm like, whoa. And so it makes it hard to be friends with someone that isn't verbal in class. Now, my understanding was he was very verbal once he was in like a group chat, but he wouldn't have had this group chat of friends without having first been included in this class.
And this is kind of an important thing for, listeners to understand, that, like, if your kid is that kid, gives us a run for our money every day, we think about that kid years later. We always think about them. They just stick like glue.
Like glue. Here's things that work. This is from a teacher in Texas. No more information than that. Somewhere near my desk, I keep a to-do list labeled with every month of the school year. As things come up or as I remember them, I add them to the list for that month. That way, I don't risk forgetting that I needed to do it. Also, as the deadlines approach that I know I will have again the following year, I add them to my work calendar so that I don't have to try and remember when I have to hand out this form, when I have to do this thing, when I have to pay for that, etc. That's awesome. It's actually really close to what I started doing this year, and I really wish I'd done like every single year. Being in a fine art, there are a lot of things we have to do at the beginning of the year.
All year.
Well, all year, but there's a lot of, I put as much as I can at the beginning of the year. Like, before the school year starts, I am preparing all of my travel paperwork for the year, my bus requests for the year, my permission slips for the year. I am preparing all these things that just, our time sucks is really what they are, but it's a necessary part of our jobs. And there is a lot of things to order every year, a lot of things. I know for me, generally I get regular school supplies, but then I also order a ton of water, I get snacks, I order batteries, I order wood, I order building supplies, all sorts of things. And so I started this year making my to-do list as I normally would do, only I didn't cross the things out. I'm like, I'm going to keep this to-do list for next year and just add to it so that I don't have to redo my to-do list.
So you could type up a master to-do list and laminate it. That way you can still cross it out and then just clean it off.
Yeah, but it always changes and always gets added to, as brilliant as that is. Also, for some reason, I remember things better if I write it down like with my actual hand in my pretty pink pen, my really thin, pretty pink pen. But that's a great idea, because then each year following, you kind of know it's on your radar for the following month. Well, thank you, teacher, for that suggestion. I wanted to let everyone know that if you are in my podcast group on Facebook, or even if you're not, there is a giveaway going on.
Free stuff.
Free stuff. A wonderful dear friend of mine made a couple giveaways for me. Ooh. I know. And so one of them is like a fancy bottle of alcohol with some with some dressings. Not like dip your chicken nuggets in dressings, but like goes on the cup with the alcohol dressings.
Decorative.
Yeah, so I don't know what to call them. But anyway, it looks yummy. I hope someone that I know will win it and share.
That's a polite way of saying I can't enter, but wish I could. So if
invite me over. And then she made 2 pairs of earrings, one for me and one for a winner. And then we'll have matching earrings. They're 2 different colors of pink.
That's cool.
But you can match me with your earrings. Pink ones, of course. Or if you win it and you don't wear earrings, then you could gift it to a girlfriend or a wife or a daughter or someone in your life, of course.
Or hang them in your beard if you're a guy.
Actually, I kind of want to have a picture of that. So if you want a chance to win one of these awesome items,
Scarab will come and do your duty after school for a month.
Please don't. That is just cruel.
First place. Must live in the-
All right, so if you want a chance to win one of these awesome prizes from 00 Designed, then head on over to my Facebook group, and there are instructions there on what you have to do in order to be entered.
Am I allowed to enter?
I don't see why not.
Cool.
I know you're sharing that alcohol with me if you win.
No.
Oh, well, we are no longer friends.
That's a lie. I can't believe you even said that with a straight face. Impressed.
Thank you for joining today's episode of Bad Teacher Tales. If we made your day slightly better, or your job seemed slightly less absurd, hit like, share, and subscribe. Your support keeps us caffeinated and somewhat functional. Want to share your story anonymously? The link in the notes is open 24/7, something your planning period can only dream of. Just kidding, those don't exist. Stories from all corners of education are welcome. Anyone who witnesses the madness and magic, we want your tales. Follow us on Instagram and TikTok at @BadTeacherTales to drop your tales, memes, and coping strategies. Got suggestions, comments, questions, or topic ideas? Email us anytime at badteachertales@gmail.com. Unlike Teachers on Fridays, we actually read them. See you again soon. Try not to quit before then.